Yo, what's up, guys? It's King Sean here, and we have some breaking news. Myles Garrett, former Defensive Player of the Year, current edge rusher for the Cleveland Browns, has requested a trade from the Browns. He put out a tweet in a post saying, he appreciates Cleveland, the fans, the team. However, he wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to be with a contender by the time his career is over, and obviously, the Browns went 3-12 last year, or 3-14 last year. They have the number 2 overall pick. Future isn't looking too bright with them. It's unclear where they will go in terms of quarterback because obviously Deshaun Watson, he retore his Achilles, so he may not even play in the 2025 season. They have the 2nd overall pick, right? So they can take a quarterback. However, it's going to be a rookie, right? And an unproven guy. And Myles Garrett, he's 29, right? Only getting older, and he's still a phenomenal player. Like, he's the best edge rusher in the NFL, right? It's not like 29 is crazy old. However, he probably only has like 4 or 5 years left in his prime, right? So he wants to go to a contender. He wants to go to a Super Bowl contender. He wants to win a ring by the time his career is over. So I definitely get him requesting a trade from the Browns because he just probably is not going to get a Super Bowl ring from the Browns, right? Now, another factor that could have influenced him to request a trade from the Browns, and I heard that it's not really a factor, but it could be a factor, right? It's not confirmed yet or anything like that, but he is looking for a new contract extension. He has 1 more year left on his deal with the Browns, and that is his last year that has fully guaranteed money on it. The last year of his deal is not fully guaranteed, right? Has no guarantees on it. So he's looking for a new contract. And will the Browns provide him with that? Maybe, right? I think they probably would. But the thing is, he wants to go ahead to a Super Bowl contender. He wants to win a ring. And the Browns are just a team that probably will not provide him with that, right? So he wants a trade, right? He wants out. And once again, it makes sense. Now, on the Browns' part, really wouldn't make a ton of sense trading him because obviously he's the best edge rusher in the league, won Defensive Player of the Year last year. He has a chance to win it again this year, had 14 sacks. I think he's had 14 sacks each of his last 4 seasons in the league. Let me check that right now. But I do know that he had 14 sacks this year, so y'all already know, man. Myles Garrett is an absolute beast. He's the type of guy that we could use on this defense. Really, any NFL team could use, right? Like, there's only a handful of elite edges or one of them ones at edge rusher in the league. Like, the Steelers have TJ Watt. The Niners have Nick Bosa, right? So those types of guys, right? And Myles Garrett, they don't grow on trees. So you're probably not going to find that type of guy in this draft class. So I could definitely see us, trying to trade for Myles Garrett. Garrett put up 16 sacks in 2021 and 2022 and put up 14 sacks in 2023 and 2024. So you already know he's elite. He is one of them ones at edge rusher. He, in my opinion, is the best edge rusher in the entire NFL. And saying that, right, well, that being a fact to me at least, it really wouldn't make too much sense for the Browns to move on from him, right? And they doubled down today in a report that said that the Browns, they're probably not going to entertain any trade offers for Myles Garrett. And maybe they do down the line, right? Because free agency does start in a month. So, we'll see if they entertain talks around that time. But as of right now, they will not entertain any trade talks surrounding Myles Garrett, right? So that's that right there. Would I trade for Myles Garrett? Without question, man. Myles Garrett, he's the type of dude that we need on this defense, man. You already know Dan Quinn had Micah Parsons in Dallas, and getting Myles Garrett here on this defense, amazing. And I've seen some fans on social media say that don't really want to give up too many draft picks for Myles Garrett, don't want to really pay him. Look, Jaden is on a rookie contract, right? And you already know he's already a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So you have to take advantage of his rookie deal because in 2 or 3 years from now, you're going to have to pay him, right? So getting elite talent and building around Jaden right now is the best thing to do, because later on down the line, you're going to have to pay Jaden and you won't have as much money to really build a team around him, right? So getting elite talent now would be a great option in order to build this team and to build around Jaden. And getting a guy like Myles Garrett, man, would greatly elevate this defense, man. He is a force, obviously, in the pass rush game as well as the run stopping game, right? Myles Garrett, he would be such a great fit on this defense and really on any other defense as well, right? Like, what NFL team does not want Myles Garrett? Unless you're an NFL team that already has a premier edge rusher like the Niners or the Steelers, every single NFL team is probably going to make a call, at least one call, to check in on Myles Garrett's availability, right? So, you know, every NFL team wants him, most likely. But I think he would be a perfect fit for us. What would we have to give up to get him, though? You would probably have to give up at least 2 first-round picks to get a guy like Myles Garrett. He's going to be that expensive. Sorry if you're not so interested in that, and that's okay if you're not, right? But if you want elite talent like Myles Garrett, a generational talent like Myles Garrett, you're going to have to give up that much in order to get him. So that's how much you're probably going to have to give up at the very least, because it won't only take 2 first-round picks. You're going to have to give up a little bit more on the back end of that. So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe 2 firsts and 2 third-round picks, or maybe 2 firsts, a second, and a third-round pick, or maybe 2 firsts, a third, along with a player. You know, there's a lot of ways you could go in a Myles Garrett trade, right? Now, will the Browns even trade him? I don't know. Right now, I don't think they will, right? But that could change down the line. Like, free agency starts in a month, and a lot can change from now to then, right? So we'll see what the Browns do, but you're going to have to give up a whole lot to get Myles Garrett, and rightfully so. He's a generational edge talent that you're not going to find in the draft, and, you know, you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. And if it takes 2 first-round picks, 2 thirds, and maybe a player, hey, I'm in, right? I'm in, because it is a lot. However, you're not going to find a guy like that in the draft or in free agency, right? So Myles Garrett, definitely a guy that I know that AP is obviously going to do his due diligence on him, make some trade calls to the Browns to see his availability, maybe make a trade offer if the Browns decide to actually entertain talks later down the line heading into free agency. So, you know, we'll see, but I do expect AP and the front office to do their due diligence on Myles Garrett. And like I said, right now, don't really see him getting traded. However, a lot can change from now to free agency. So those are my thoughts on a potential Myles Garrett trade. And let me know what y'all think on a potential Myles Garrett trade. What would y'all give up to get him? And also, you're going to have to give him a new contract if you were to trade for him, right? Because he does want an extension. And then real quick, I want to get to what Josh Harris said in his presser today. Spoke to the media today at the facility, and he talked about, you know, the season. He talked about the new stadium construction, and he also talked about the name, right? So you already know, man, fans, there's still some fans out there holding out hope for the name to be changed or for the Redskins name to come back. And Josh Harris basically said today that the Commanders name is going to stick, which isn't a surprise. It should not be a surprise to anyone. He said that the coaching staff, the players in this building have embraced the name, right? The name means something now. And I can really tell last year during the draft, DQ and AP, specifically AP, they set out lists of guys that they consider as Commanders. The name means something now to the front office and the players. Like, it may not mean something to the fans, right? To some fans, it definitely doesn't. But to the guys in the actual building, it does. So, once again, the name is going to stick around. Like, I'm honestly so sick of the name talks. Like, I don't even want to spend too much time on this segment. But, yeah, the name, it's going to stay Commanders for the foreseeable future at the very least. But it's going to stick around for a while. One thing you could see change this offseason, however, is our uniforms. Josh Harris said in his press conference that the Commanders are looking to better honor the past and reconnect with the past. JP Finlay put out a tweet, and he said that they might make some uniform changes this offseason to have our uniforms look like the old Redskins uniforms, right? Which I feel like that would be pretty smart because you already know a lot of fans want the name back, want the logo back, and that's just not going to happen. However, in order to reconnect with the past a little bit, you could make some changes to your uniform to make them look like the old Redskins uniforms, right? So I feel like that would be so cool. That is such a cool idea. It's not confirmed yet, right? So we'll see if they actually make those changes, but it sounds like they will be making those changes this offseason or maybe next offseason, right? Whenever they announce it, right? And that would be really cool. I'm not going to lie. I would definitely cop me a jersey or two. Definitely cop me a Jaden Daniels jersey, Terry McLaurin jersey as well. So that would definitely be a very cool idea to just reconnect the team with the past a little bit, incorporating the Redskins uniform designs and colors into our uniforms today. So that is basically what Josh Harris kind of sort of meant when he said he wants to reconnect the team with the past, right? So changes or additions to our uniform. So that is really what I wanted to talk about in today's video. And that is it for today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and other than that, it's me, King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.